Hey guys, welcome to Akinyi'Smane. My name is Akinyi. I have been natural for 3 years and 5 months now. My hair is past the armpit length, and I definitely know that it's important to know about hair porosity, most especially if you want to grow your hair, retain your length. And I definitely know that you're all about that business, so keep on watching. So, porosity is the ability of hair to either absorb moisture or not absorb moisture. Yeah, kizungu mingi, but this is what I mean. Let me first of all break it down into 3 categories, and then it'll make sense. So, porosity is divided into 3 categories. There's the medium porosity, there's the high porosity, and there's the low porosity. And medium porosity is, let me say, the ideal characteristic that we definitely want our hair to fall into. And why is that? This is because medium porosity hair is able to absorb moisture and keep it for a long period of time. You know how generally skin tends to have pores? Our hair also has cuticles. Yeah, so people with medium hair porosity, their cuticles are flexible, meaning they're able to absorb that moisture and retain it for a long period of time. Okay, so people with medium porosity, their hair doesn't get dry really fast, and it doesn't take a long time for it to absorb the moisture as well, so that's perfect. And people with medium porosity also need to use products that are, something like jojoba oil, like argan oil. That's really perfect for them if they want to moisturize their hair. Yeah, so that's really simple, and that's it. Yeah, and it's ideal, but not all of us fall into that category. Personally, I don't. So yeah, that's just about it. And then the second category is the low porosity hair. Now, low porosity hair there's the good side of it and the bad side of it. Now let's start with the good side of it. Now, people with low porosity hair, their hair doesn't get frizzy that fast. That's a good thing. Okay, but now the flip side to it is, like, it really takes a long time for their hair to absorb moisture or even absorb products when they want to probably deep condition or moisturize their hair, because their hair cuticles are closed. So now, because they are closed, even if they try to apply, like, maybe let's say a leave-in conditioner, or spray moist water into their hair, or deep condition, that takes like forever. So the products tend to sit onto the cuticles, which is a bad thing. Okay, but definitely there's always a remedy to such an incident. So the thing about low porosity hair, if you realize that your hair is that kind of, it's that type of, has that type of cuticles, the thing is, you need to always apply heat onto your hair every time you want to deep condition or you want to moisturize. Now, that doesn't really mean that you have to go sit under a dryer or blow dry your hair. What you can simply do is, if you want to deep condition your hair or if you want to moisturize your hair, once you've done whatever you need to do, you can either use a shower cap or just a paper bag and tie it onto your hair, and then the heat from your body, or rather your body, will generate the heat, and then your cuticles will be able to open, thus absorbing the good stuff that you want your hair to absorb, and then voila, that's it. That's really simple. So again, the good side about low porosity hair is, once the hair has absorbed the moisture or the deep conditioner or the leave-in conditioner, once it has been absorbed, you don't, like, it will take a long time for it to lose it. So now that's the good thing about low porosity hair. Now, another thing is, if you have low porosity hair, you definitely know that your cuticles are closed. You definitely want to avoid heavy or rather dense products like shea butter, like castor oil. Those are products that are just, okay, let me not say enemies, but since they are really heavy, again, your cuticles will really put a lot of, like, you really need to put a lot of effort for those kind of products to be absorbed into your cuticles, of which you don't want to go through that kind of hassle. So avoid products that are heavy. Instead, use light products like avocado oil, like coconut oil. Those are good products if you want to moisturize your hair or deep condition your hair, if yet told you that's what you use. But you really want to get products that are light or not heavy, in short, for you to be able to seal in your products and the products to get into your cuticles. Yeah, so that's simply what it is for low porosity hair. Now let's go to the third category, high porosity hair. That's where my hair tends to fall into. Now my hair is high porosity hair because my hair is high porosity hair. What am I saying? My hair falls into the category of high porosity because I tend to absorb moisture really fast, which is a good thing, but I tend to lose it really fast as well. So that's a bad thing. That's the flip side to high porosity hair. Now that's why, if you've ever wondered why your hair gets dry really fast, chances are you fall under the high porosity hair category. Okay, so that calls for you to be able to moisturize your hair more often. And if you don't want to do so, what you do is get products that are heavy or dense, pretty much the opposite of low porosity hair. Now if maybe you've used your water and your leave-in conditioner and you've already moisturized your hair, you definitely want to seal in because our cuticles are always open. Okay, if you've noticed, every time I'm doing probably a twist out or a braid out or I'm moisturizing my hair in my previous videos, I always use shea butter or castor oil, but most times I get to use my shea butter because shea butter is really thick and heavy. So is it for castor oil. We want to get products that are heavy and dense so that once we've moisturized our hair, the castor oil or the shea butter will help in sealing in the moisture, which is, that's how we are able to absorb or rather retain the moisture into our hair. Okay, so another thing is, you might have genes that are of low, like your hair genes are of low porosity, but with time you realize that your hair is of high porosity. Now that happens when you get heat damage or you tend to use color or dye your hair really, like a lot of times, that it affects your cuticles, and then with time it gets open, and even if you try do anything, it just ends up that your hair is of high porosity, like it's really porous, in short, because you're using a lot of heat, you're using a lot of color. Okay, so that may tend to make your low porosity hair high porosity because your cuticles will open. So you really want to avoid using a lot of heat, or you really want to avoid a lot of color. Now people who tend to use a lot of heat on their natural hair, I've met people, or rather I know people who have natural hair, but even if they wash or spray water onto their hair, the hair is still straight, and you're wondering, where's the shrinkage? It's because your hair strands have been damaged because of heat, and now it tends to look as if you have relaxed hair, but ideally you just have natural hair. So that means that your cuticles are now open, and now you have high porosity hair, in short, because it's been damaged. So you want to really avoid a lot of heat, and you want to avoid coloring your hair so many times, so that your cuticles are just the way they are meant to be. It doesn't mean because you have high porosity you're having heat damage or dye damage, if there's anything like that. So you need to know in which category your hair falls under, so that you get products that are tailored for your hair type. You can, personally, my hair is 4C and I'm high porosity, but there are people who are their hair is still 4C, but they have low porosity hair. So it doesn't necessarily mean just because your hair is of 4C, or rather it's 4C hair type, your hair is of high porosity. You need to take time and study your hair and know the characteristics of your hair, so that you get products that are meant for your hair type, so that your hair nourishes and grows. Like I told you guys, my hair is of high porosity, so there's no way I'm going to moisturize my hair and just use coconut oil to seal in my hair, because it doesn't work. Okay, so if you're all about growing your hair long and healthy, you need to know which hair type, or rather what kind of porosity your hair falls under. Did I just say that right? ujue nywele yako ni kama ni high porosity ama ni low porosity ama ni medium porosity. Just because your hair is 4C and mine is 4C doesn't necessarily mean that both of us are of high porosity hair. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Oh, and one more thing, if your hair is of high porosity, you want to oftenly do deep conditioning, and you definitely want to do more protein treatment, because these are two things that will help in combating the problem of losing moisture really fast onto your hair, because deep conditioning and protein treatment help in retaining moisture into our hair. That's why I always tell you guys that I deep condition my hair every single week. Okay, so that helps in moisture retention in my hair. Yeah, I hope I'm making sense. I hope. Okay, I hope. And I also use the LOC method because I feel like that helps in, you know, retaining moisture into my hair. I use liquid, which is water, oil, coconut oil, and then the cream. Because I don't have a leave-in conditioner right now, I use my shea butter, which works perfectly fine for my hair. So again, I want to know, guys, do you guys use the LOC method or the LCO method? What works for you? You know, are you of high porosity and you use the opposite, like you use LCO method, the liquid cream oil method, that works for you? What works for you? I want to know, guys. So definitely mention it in the comment section below, and you know, let's have a conversation. Let's know what works for you guys, and I hope to learn from you as well. So thank you so much for your time. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, up until the next video, bye bye.